Second variable.
Yo, what's up YouTube, Second Variable here, and today I'm gonna be reviewing
Shut the fuck up, no one cares. Know your fucking place, trash.
0 out of 10 would not watch again. Unlike Superman Red Son and Batman Hush, this movie fell under the radar for hype. I didn't even know this movie existed, not until the trailer dropped, and the trailer itself didn't even hype it. I did not know this was going to be the last movie in the DC animated cinematic universe, whatever, until I actually finished watching the movie. And I didn't even know the movie was rated R until massive amounts of death. But let's get back to that later.
Members of the Titans shall remain on Earth as a home guard.
Darkseid.
Justice League Dark Apokolips War serves as a finale for the DC animated movie universe, spanning over 7 years with 15 films in total. Although in my opinion it should be 14 movies instead, but we'll get back to that later. We start the movie off with all the Justice League members that have been associated with this universe discussing a plan to take on Darkseid on Apokolips because they have reasons to believe that he's causing too much damage in the universe and will eventually come to Earth. But unfortunately the heroes fail, leaving them to side with unlikely heroes to take down Darkseid to not just save the Earth but the entire universe.
Members of the Titans shall remain on Earth as a home guard.
Darkseid.
Bruh. I can't start off this review without saying the most hype thing I saw in this movie, which is Darkseid versus Trigon. They haven't even interacted in the mainline comics. That's crazy. This is the first time these two, especially in animation, have interacted at all. Whatever you say about this movie, and I'm gonna say it like a lot, gotta give props to DC and Warner Bros. For greenlighting this, and the writers and director for just coming up with this.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
I would say this is the best fight scene in the movie, but the fights are pretty decent. That's another major upside to this movie. I would say if you're just coming to watch for action, then that's a really good part of the movie. Also, if you're an edgelord, you're probably gonna love this movie with all the limbs being ripped off, mind control. Like, this is some next level Clockwork Orange type of torture. Just coming in the movie, minding my own business. I didn't even look into the ratings coming into this scene, like, yo, they just killed Wonder Woman, they just ripped her arms off, like, what? And man, they treated a lot of these heroes badly. Like, they just got murdered. Like, not killed, they got murdered. Last thing I want to discuss that's actually a pretty cool thing about this movie is the character designs. After Darkseid has taken over the Justice League, like, put them under his control, changed Superman's powers, like, took away by infusing kryptonite into him. A lot of these character designs looks pretty cool. Superman looks like Superman X from that old Legion of Superheroes cartoon. Really cool. I like to see that design. The Justice League turned into Darkseid's new Furies, and these Furies, like, they're mechanical. They have they have spider legs and whip arms. Like, yo, I don't even know. I don't even know what Darkseid was thinking. Like, yo, all right, let's see. This guy, I want him to have spider legs. That's for sure. I like to think the guy behind this, all these designs for Darkseid, is like thinking to himself, like, this is not practical, but he can't say a goddamn thing.
Members of the Titans shall remain on Earth as a home guard.
Darkseid.
So Earlier, I brought up that this DC animated universe has been around for 7 years with at least 15 films attached to it. I said earlier, I don't necessarily agree with this because that doesn't make any sense. If you watch Flashpoint, you know that Barry goes back in time to save his mom and ultimately has to let her die in the end because the universe that he created after saving his mom was going to die.
The only way to save the world is to keep this world from ever happening.
In that said universe, Batman's dad became another version of Batman because the original Batman, Bruce Wayne, died as a child instead. The Flash brings a letter to Batman, acting as if he knows him. Now, when we start off this universe, Justice League War, Barry or the Flash doesn't really know Batman. So how is this universe connected? The only way, and this is why this whole DC animated universe doesn't work, and I'll explain that later. The only way that this could possibly work is that later on in the timeline, when Barry goes back in time, he comes back after Justice League War. But that doesn't make any sense, once again, because Barry changed the timeline after he saves his mom, and changed the timeline again after he stops himself from saving his mom. So it doesn't work. And the reason why this universe doesn't work is because they didn't take the time to add on different movies in this universe. We have one Wonder Woman movie, 2 Superman movies, which are technically a part 1 and part 2, 3 Justice League movies if I don't include Flashpoint because once again they didn't connect it properly, 2 Justice League Dark movies because these are 2 separate brands. Justice League Dark usually handles the occult and Justice League just usually handle world threats. And lastly, with the most movies under his belt is Batman. He has 4 movies. How do you make a cinematic universe with 4 Batman movies? Imagine the Marvel Cinematic Universe having mostly Iron Man movies, like 8 Iron Man movies, and maybe 1 Avengers movies. That makes no sense. You're not really expanding the universe when you don't make other movies, like maybe make a Flash movie, make a Superman movie, make a Green Lanterns movie. The Green Lanterns would have better connected the universe because they handle mostly space threats. Now, that's from just a fan's perspective of how these movies aren't working properly, so hopefully the next universe that they are creating is far better. Mostly I see this movie or this franchise as fanfic because a lot of things that happened in this series was just stupid. Like for example, Superman and Trigon merging. Most iteration of Superman is weak against magic. Like imagine being allergic to peanuts and some demon who has peanut powers possesses your body. Why would it do that? It's going to affect the body, break it down. That's the weakest host when there's a perfectly good host right there. In all honesty, this movie just feels very stupid in many ways. Like there are a lot of stupid decisions being made. I don't understand why the Justice League just went straight for Apokolips. They didn't make any plans with any other military, like the military of the world, or maybe meet up with the Green Lanterns, or hopefully they could have added the new gods into this fight. Like Trigon brings up, oh, you're supposedly a new god, but if this is your first time like watching an animated DC show, you have no idea what he's talking about. You probably just thinking, oh, maybe he's referring to him as a devil, but Trigon looks like the devil, so how the hell would you know? I believe they should have just did a 2-parter for this movie where they start off as they lost, get saved by the new gods and the Green Lanterns, and then they fight to defeat Darkseid.